What is good, everyone, and welcome to this very special edition of the Wrestling with Fans podcast. We're a pro wrestling podcast created by fans for fans from a fan's perspective. My name is Kyle, and this is our 5-year anniversary special. 5 years of podcasting for Wrestling with Fans, and I'm very happy to be here tonight live streaming on YouTube. And shout out to the Facebook community. We're live on Facebook as well. I'm double streaming, so hopefully the quality is good enough for you guys to enjoy this stream. Basically, what's going to happen tonight is we're going to be playing Survivor. We're going to be playing a Fantasy Survivor. Now, the way this works, if you're not familiar with it or haven't followed the show for a while, what I do is we take a season of the TV show Survivor and we play it out with WWE superstars in place of the actual contestants. So that's how this works. So what I'm going to do is we're going to go over the casting, because the casting from the original Blood vs. Water season has changed. So we're going to go over the casting and how this works. And then we're going to play out the season as a regular, Survivor season. So I hope you all are buckled up and ready for a fun night of stuff here at the Wrestling with Fans podcast here on the Wrestling with Fans YouTube channel. But before I get into anything else, let me just take a moment here. And I just want to thank a few people. Just would like to thank a few people for 5 years, for all the help that you guys have given me. First and foremost, my wonderful, beautiful wife, Jen, for allowing me to still pursue this crazy dream world that I live in as a podcaster and content creator. And also thank you for your contributions to the show as well. It's been a pleasure to have you watch wrestling with me over these last few years and be a part of this journey with me. I want to thank my OG co-host, Bobby, my tag team partner, my hetero life mate, for being a part of so many episodes of the show. To Chris H for our group conversations, which led to the creation of the show. I know you only did a few shows at the beginning, but I really appreciate being a part of the early days of the podcast. To Jason, my longest friend ever. I've known him longer than most people I know have been alive. Thank you for all you do. Thank you for being a great friend and confidant over the years. And thank you for helping out along the show and giving the live updates from NXT at the time. To Chris C, thank you again, brother, for all your help and contributions, being a part of the show, coming up with fun ideas, and just our banter on the show was always fun, and I hope to have all of you guys back again soon. To my newest on-again, off-again co-host, Rick, I've only known you for a little over a year, maybe. Really only the last 6-7 months we've really become close. You're a great guy. You're fun to go back and forth with in this show, and I appreciate any time you make time to join me here on the podcast. And just throw a few other thank yous out to Josh, to John, to Danny, even when you have a Confederate flag in the background, Tim. I know I'm probably missing one or two, but to all you guys who, even if you've hopped on for just the show, just to hang out and chat for a little bit, I greatly appreciate all of the contributions that you've helped here at Wrestling with Fans. And of course, I want to thank you, most importantly, the fans of the podcast, the ones who listen and download every week, the ones who watch the YouTube videos when they go up, all the people that have joined live while I did the live stream. Just thank you all so much. It means the world to me that you guys want to join me on this crazy journey of podcasting and content creation, and I wouldn't be here without all of you. So thank you. Sincerely, thank you all so much. Now, I want to dive into the premises of Survivor. before we do that, let's plug some social medias here, and then we'll get into the nuts and bolts of it. So we'll be back in just a moment. Just interrupt myself here for a quick moment. First off, thank you for checking out Wrestling with Fans here on YouTube. If you're enjoying what you see, make sure to leave a big old thumbs up and click that subscribe button down below. The other ways you can help support the show is to follow us across all of our other social medias. Check us out, facebook.com/Wrestling with Fans. Hulk smash that like button to keep up to date with everything going on here with Wrestling with Fans. Or you can follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Wrestling with Fans. Check us out on the web at WrestlingWithFans.com. New audio shows go up every single Sunday at midnight. Or you can take us on the go, download us to your favorite podcast listening device. You can get us wherever you get your podcast fix. Just search Wrestling with Fans Podcast. We are on all the major platforms: Apple, Google, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Stitcher. Wherever you get your podcast fix, you can find Wrestling with Fans. Last but certainly not least, comments, questions, feedback, topics you want covered on the show, shoot me an email, wwfshow@gmail.com. Again, that's wwfshow@gmail.com. Links to everything are down in the video description and down below, so make sure you check that out. Without further ado, back to the show. All right. Actually, I don't want to put that up just yet. So let's take our trusty die down for just a minute. All right. So what we are doing tonight, guys, is Fantasy Survivor. Now, for those of you who aren't aware or familiar with Survivor, it is a reality show where they put anywhere from 16 to 20 castaways on an island, and they play challenges, and the losing tribe each week has to vote someone off, and you go down until you get to the final sole survivor. Now, for I want to say it was like 30 or 60 subscribers. It was in the first year of the show. Bobby and I did the very first Wrestling with Fans WWE Fantasy Survivor, and it was a lot of fun. It was based off of season 20 Heroes versus Villains. We called it Faces versus Heels, and it was won by none other than Brie Bella, which kind of shocked me too, but that's how it played out. If you're interested, you can check that out in the archives. The YouTube video is on the channel here. There's audio versions of it at WrestlingWithFans.com. So wherever you get your fix, you can find the show. All right. So here's where we get. So for season 27 is what we're playing off of tonight. It is Blood versus Water. Now, the premise of this show was that they got 10 returning players to play against 10 loved ones. So they were cast on the show with their loved one. Could be husband, wife, daughter, son, mother, father, brother, sister, girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever. It was a loved one. Now, in Survivor history, they had a lot of... They were infamous for the loved ones visit, where at a certain point, you'd be playing for love, where they'd fly your family or friends in, one of them, and then if you won the challenge, you got to spend time with them, get a little taste of home while out on the island. So finally, in season 27, they went ahead and made it a game where the players had their loved ones come out and play what they thought would probably be with them. As it turned out, they're playing against them. I'm going to add an extra light in here real quick. Add a little more so y'all can see my ugly face. There we go. All right. So what I did is I picked 10 pairs of WWE superstars. Now, some of these could be husband and wife. Some of them could be manager. Some of them could be tag team partner. There's several that, several combinations here. So let's pull this up. And do we want to bring... No, we'll keep the cam out of this for now. All right, so let's get to the first tribe. This is the Tadhana tribe. Now, on the Tadhana tribe, we are going to see the likes. Corey Graves. Jey Uso. Your tribal chief, Roman Reigns. Eric from the Viking Raiders. Dominic Mysterio, Beth Phoenix, Candice LeRae, Dakota Kai, Trish Stratus, and Bianca Belair. That is the Todd Hana tribe. Now the other tribe. Now these are the tribe of their loved ones who they're going to be playing against. The Galang tribe. It is the rated R superstar Edge, Jimmy Uso, the Wise Man Paul Heyman, Montez Ford, Johnny Gargano, Io Sky, Rhea Ripley, Carmella, Valhalla, and Lita. So those are our 2 tribes. Now what we'll do is go episode by episode. And what we're going to end up doing, let me bring this back in here. We're going to talk it out, and to determine the winners and losers of these challenges, we have our trusty dice up here. We're going to do a roll. So, for example, to see who wins a challenge, we'll do a roll for each tribe. The highest number wins that challenge. The losing tribe will go to tribal council, where we will talk out how these the votes will go until we get down to one final sole survivor. Now there is a twist to this season, Redemption Island. Now if you're not familiar with that, basically Redemption Island in Survivor is if you are voted out of the game, in some of these particular seasons with Redemption Island, you don't go home. You go to what's called Redemption Island, where once there are several of you there, you have challenges to earn your way back into the game. So once the first 2 people are voted off, they will have a challenge. The loser of that challenge is then, sent home. The winner of that challenge has an opportunity to win another challenge, and twice during the game, you can earn your way back into the main game. I apologize for that. If you can't tell, I'm still feeling a little under the weather. Feeling better than I have. But there'll probably be times where I have to mute myself to cough and be taking drinks. So if you are coming in and joining in at any time live, make sure you leave a thumbs up on the video. Would love to have a comment or two from one of you guys out there. Let us know what some of your favorite things are if you're a fan of Survivor or what. Would love to hear from you. Would love to hear from you. We're going to get started here in just a quick moment. Okay, everything. I'm just double checking to make sure that all of my streams are up. So that way, no, don't want that. Let's go back to Wrestling with Fans. All right, just making sure everything's good. All right, we are good. We are good. I'm going to try to keep up to date with all the chats. Let's just hope I'm able to do that. That's the hope. So I've got my third monitor over here that's got the Facebook and the YouTube streams on it. I've got my dice up here. I've also got the I don't want that. I want this. Do this. I'm just trying to make sure I've got all my windows up where they need to be. All right, the trusty dice is there. So is it up? No, you're over here. I want you over here. So that way I have you. All right, so we have everything here. So let's dive into the beginning of this season. Now, we have our tribes. And what happens when they hit the beach? All the pairs come in and they spend day 0. They come in a day early. Survivor's 39 days. So this is day 0. There's a little twist where each pair is dropped off in a remote part of the jungle, and they have to spend the night with their loved one in the jungle to just survive for one night. The next morning, officially on day 1, all 20 castaways converge at the main beach. Now, from here, there's another twist, because again, we have the Redemption Island in play. So we're going to have to break this down by tribe. So they separate into tribes. They find out, you're not playing with your loved one. You're playing against your loved one. So what's going to happen is everybody's separated into their tribes, and then they are told to make an immediate gut reaction decision. And what they are forced to do is immediately vote someone out. Immediately vote someone out. So, let's go to our tribes. Let's start with Todd Hanna. These 10 strangers, well, presumably strangers, or in this case, people that know each other, have to make a gut decision to immediately vote someone out. Now, looking at this tribe, you know that Roman and Jay are going to pair up. They're going to have Corey Graves is probably going to be on their nuts. I imagine they'll be picking up Dakota Kai as a fourth. And then you're probably going to have the likes, Beth, Bianca, Candice, and Trish are all going to pair up. And then looking like Eric and Dom are kind of left out as kind of the middlemen here in this tribe. I assume Dominic would jump on Roman's nuts, which I'm guessing would leave Eric out. But just looking at the tribe, I hate to say it, but I think Eric would be the one voted out initially by his tribe. Him or actually, no, I think Candice. I think Candice is probably the one going out. Either Eric or Candice. Because they want to keep strength. The tribal chief is going to look at the smallest, most petite woman. And I think Candice. I think Candice is going to be the one voted out. Initially. I don't know, there's still a twist here, guys. So there's still a twist. So don't worry. She's not out of the game just yet. Going over to the Galang tribe. Again, you're going to have Jimmy, the wise man, Paul Heyman, Rhea Ripley, and Io Sky, I think, are going to be a foursome. They're going to kind of get together with Carmella to make 5. And then I think your 5 baby faces, Edge, Montez, Johnny, Valhalla, and Lita, are all going to kind of team up. So this tribe, I think, is going to go very faces versus heels, where the other is kind of going to be split. Now here, I don't know where this goes. This is an interesting decision. Heyman would be an easy one because he's the oldest, weakest man. But I think he has enough pull with some of the others. Kind of instant, reaction to these guys that he doesn't immediately get voted out. Where I think this goes, and as weird as it sounds, I think it is going to be Valhalla. I think of all the women and the men together, I think they're going to have an interest. They're going to look at her as kind of like an odd cookie. She's just not going to vibe with everybody else. And I think that's going to be her downfall. So right now we have Candice voted out of Todd Hanna and Valhalla voted out of Galang. Now here's the other twist. There's a lot of twists at the start of this game, which makes it really fun. They offer to the loved ones to be able to switch positions with them. So for Valhalla, they're going to look at Eric from the Viking Raiders and offer up whether or not he would switch places. The same thing with Johnny Gargano. Now, being that they're both good guys, I fully expect this to be a possibility that they could switch. So what I want to do here first, bring me back in here. We're going to roll to see if these guys are going to switch. Now, what we'll say is for evens, they will switch places with their loved one. If it's odd, they will not switch places. That is how we're going to do it. We're going to do 2 rolls. First up, we're going to roll for Candice. So even they switch, odd they don't. Johnny Gargano is switching with Candice. So Johnny is now out. And Candice now takes the place of on Johnny's tribe. So there's this cool twist here at the beginning of the show. We'll fix the graphics here in just a minute. Now for Eric. Again, even he switches, odd he does not. He does not. So right now, we have some new tribes. So I need to update the graphics while we're doing. We're gonna do this live, updating these graphics here. So the new Galong tribe. We need to take Johnny Gargano out, and we need to add Candice LeRae. So Candice is in her picture is extremely large here. So I got to shrink this into place. Johnny Gargano is out. Candice LeRae gets his spot on the tribe. So let me just update this here. All right, so we got Candice over on Galong. Tadhana is still the same. So now, Valhalla and Johnny Gargano are sent off to Redemption Island, where they're going to spend their time. And they're going to end up getting into challenges later on. Which puts us to the first immunity challenge. Now, in this challenge, 6 castaways from each tribe would race out into the ocean over a set of 3 obstacles to a boat. They would then dive down to untie knots and free the boat. The castaways would paddle the boat back to shore and deliver a chest with 3 bags of puzzle pieces. The other 3 members of the tribe would then assemble the puzzle pieces into a ship's wheel, which then will be used to raise a flag. The first tribe to raise their flag wins immunity and the reward of Flint. So, let's bring me back in here so we can do the rolls. Let's do the rolls. So we're going to roll for each tribe. The highest number will win that challenge. So we're going to be first rolling for the Tadhana tribe. Now the Tadhana tribe gets a 2. I'm just going to keep track here. So Tadhana gets a 2. Now for the Galong tribe, they also get a 2. So we're going to do a reroll here. Wow, that's interesting. Okay, again, we're using a 20-side virtual dice. You can see my mouse moving here. So for Tadhana, they're going to roll a 10 this time. Solid effort from the Tadhana tribe. Now for Galong, they get a 12. So Galong wins the first immunity, which is going to send the Tadhana tribe to Tribal Council. Now, I am pretty sure that the tribal chief is not going to be a happy camper. So here's how I see this looking on this first tribal council. Let me do a camera here. I'll put myself here in the middle. We'll go over here. I'm doing F it, we'll do it live. So Tadhana, I'm thinking you're gonna have Roman, Jay, Corey Graves, Dakota Kai, and Dominic as a dominant 5 alliance. They're going to be the initial alliance in this tribe. All the heels are going to pair up. And then you're going to have Beth. Oh, Candice is no longer on that tribe, so we can take Candice out. So Candice is off that tribe. She is, actually, no, because she's on the other tribe. So you're going to have 5 on 4. You're going to have Beth, Trish, Bianca, and Eric. 5-4. Now, of course, the tribal chief, he is the tribal chief. He's going to be looking to potentially, make a move. What does Roman Reigns want? He's going to look for tribe strength. At least that's what I'm thinking. He's going to look to keep tribe strength. So of Eric, Beth, Trish, and Bianca, who is he going to target? Because I think he's going to look at Bianca as the strongest female on the tribe. and he's not going to want to get rid of Bianca. He's going to have her as the strongest female, knowing she's going to need to win challenges. He's going to look at Beth, see her as probably the second strongest female on this tribe, knows that she's going to be able to pull her weight as well. I think, honestly, it comes down to Trish Stratus and Eric. Now, do the heel alliance here, are they looking to get rid of, Trish as, she's probably the weakest female in this game? Or do they get rid of Eric? Now, in the main series, at one point during this game, all of the couples that were still in aligned, and then all the singles aligned. Valhalla, Eric's real life wife and on-screen manager, has already been removed by her tribe. And as much as I think Trish would be the smart vote to get rid of maybe the weakest female, that's not Dakota Kai, I think Eric. I think Eric from the Viking Raiders is probably the one voted out here. Make my boot lists. I got my trusty notebook with all my notes and my tribe and all that stuff on here, so we're keeping track of it. Again, if you join the stream at any time, make sure you give the video a thumbs up, comment anything you'd like. Would love to hear from you guys. We're celebrating the 5-year anniversary of Wrestling with Fans with WWE Survivor Season 2, Blood versus Water. And Eric, the tribe, has spoken. I'm thinking Eric is the one to go here. Roman and his heel alliance is going to go ahead and get Eric out because his wife is already out of the game, so there's no reason to keep him in. Yes, he may be a strong guy. He's going to be a lot stronger than Dominic, Dakota, and Trish, but I just think that Roman's going to try to keep it all about the family that he, considering he is the tribal chief. So that's what we're going with, Eric. I'm sorry, but the tribe has spoken. Eric, the first one booted from Survivor, Blood versus Water. Now I need to update this other team. So Valhalla is out. So right now on Redemption Island, you have Valhalla, you have Eric from the Viking Raiders, and you have Johnny Gargano. And move this over here. So now we're going to go into episode 2. Episode 2. I just need to update this camera real quick so that way I'm on both tribes. All right. So we are going in to episode 2 here. Now with episode 2, we start off, we get some tribal stuff on the returning players tribe in Blood versus Water. Colton Comby, if you're familiar with Survivor, you know all about who Colton is. He kind of had a meltdown because none of the returning players wanted to talk strategy. They just wanted to chill and relax and enjoy their time on the island, which causes a little riff and things like that. So what happens? So we go to Redemption Island. We'll go and just skip ahead. We'll go to Redemption Island here. So the first challenge of this episode, episode 2, is the Redemption Island challenge, where the first 2 castaways that complete this challenge stay in the game, and the person that doesn't compete, they're actually out of the game this time. So for the Redemption Island challenge, the castaways would use a long pole to maneuver a wooden spool through a metal rod structure. They would then balance the spool on top of the structure. The structure is mounted on a spring, so the structure would sway if the castaways touched the structure while maneuvering the spool, possibly toppling all the spools from the top of this mechanism. The first 2 castaways to stack 10 spools on top will remain in the game. So, it's a boot list. All right, and we got the eliminate list. So I've got all my lists here. So let's do some rolls. So we have Valhalla, Johnny Gargano, and Eric of the Viking Raiders are all out here on Redemption Island. So we're going to do a roll for each. The lowest roll is going to be eliminated from this game. So we're going to roll first for Valhalla, who rolls a sad 1. Not looking good for Valhalla. Now let's roll for Johnny Gargano. Johnny rolls a 16. He is staying in this game. Now for Eric. A 3. He probably felt pity on his wife, and then she eventually just couldn't do it, and he went ahead and finished it off. So Valhalla is the first player eliminated from this game. Let me do this. I'm going to add some things here. I just realized I need to add another source here. Let's see if I got this image hill here. Beautiful. So we got that. Let's do our Redemption Island. So we have Eric is on Redemption Island. Bring me back in here. So this is the reward/immunity challenge. 3 castaways will roll a 4th castaway in a barrel to 4 platforms to retrieve 4 bags of balls. Once all bags are retrieved, the remaining castaways will roll the balls up a ramp into 6 targets. The first tribe to land all 6 balls in the 6 targets win immunity and a reward of fishing gear. All right. So, I need to update my list here. So, Eric was voted out. So, they are down. And Candace. No, hang on. Eric. Johnny's on Candace. Okay. Valhalla. That was the one I forgot to mark off. All right, so we have our 2 tribes. Now, Tadhana has 1 extra player. I think they are probably going to set out. I think Trish might set this one out. So we're going to have Trish set out. So you can do 8 on 8. Let's roll for immunity and reward. Let's start with the Tadhana tribe. Solid 14. And now Galong. 19. Impressive. Galong still manages. Somehow, the Galong tribe, who is physically weaker than the Tadhana tribe, pulls out another win here. I'm guessing, Edge, Montez, and Rhea are just going crazy. I would imagine Paul Heyman is maybe trying to self-sabotage and it's backfiring. And then the tribal chief is losing control of his tribe because they're going back to tribal council yet again. They're going back to tribal council yet again. So, here we are. We are back to Tadhana at Tribal Council. I think Roman's alliance is strong. Him and Jay and Corey Graves and, Dakota Kai and Dominic riding his coattails. I still think he's looking at Bianca Belair as an asset to the tribe. She's pulling her weight. And then now they're looking at Beth and Trish Stratus here. I think if they go to Tribal one more time, this 5-person alliance on Roman's tribe is going to fall apart. I think they might start targeting Dominic as the weakest male, or maybe even Corey Graves as the weakest male. I don't know. We'll see how that plays out. But unfortunately, even though I'm sure Trish is looking banging in a bikini out on the island, I have to say that Trish, the tribe has spoken. So Trish Stratus is now voted out. So let's remove Trish from the equation. Trish is out. Let's go to Redemption Island. Let's add Trish to Redemption Island. So catch up to where we are. The Tadhana tribe is down to a measly 7, and they have a strong 5-person alliance of Roman Reigns, Jey Uso, Corey Graves, Dominic Mysterio, and Dakota Kai. And then you have Beth Phoenix and Bianca Belair kind of on the outs. Now, I kind of think that if this tribe loses again, Roman's going to dump Dakota and pull in Bianca and Beth, and they're going to have to go in as a tribe of 6 strong from there. And Dakota, being the weakest woman, maybe even the weakest person in the tribe, depending on how you feel about Dominic, he's going to be on his way out. Over at the Tadhana tribe, the Galang tribe. They're looking good. Wise man Paul Heyman has led his tribe to back-to-back challenge wins. Oh, wait a minute, we're missing one here. Where's my Jimmy? Jimmy Uso is in this tribe, so I don't know why he's not up there. Why ain't got Jimmy Uso is still in this game? I don't know why his graphic isn't up there. I'll try to figure that out. So we'll get Jimmy added back in here in a second. But again, I think what do I have in here? So I think on this tribe, all right, we got getting Jimmy added back in here real quick. It's one of those fuck it, we'll do it live kind of deals. I don't know why he ended up over there, but there we go. Let's get Jimmy back in. This tribe is still 9 strong. This tribe is still 9 strong. And I think you're going to have Paul and Jimmy, Rhea Ripley, and Carmella as a solid 4. They might try to loop Edge in. Of course, Edge can go face or heel. But right now, in current stories, he's a babyface. I think they're probably pulling in Io Sky. Or they're going to try to. But I think Montez, Edge, Candice, and Lita are also a solid 4. And Io's probably kind of caught in the middle. So I think we've got 4 and 4, and then Io in the middle, probably lining with the wise man and the heels of this tribe. It always boils down to heels and faces in wrestling, even in Fantasy Survivor. All right. So let's go to the reward / immunity challenge here. Bring myself back in. So facing off one-on-one, the Castaways will battle sumo style using padded bags to try to knock off their opponents of a platform and and into the ocean to score a point. First try the 5 points will win immunity and reward of a tarp, pillows, blanket, basically comfort. Or the tribe can opt to get fishing gear instead. So we're going to have to do this a little different. We're going to have to match these up on the fly. Let me just update my list here. Trish has been voted out. So we're down to 9 on 7. So some of these people might have to go twice. So let's start off with the match we all want to see. Roman versus Edge. That's going to be the first matchup. Roman versus Edge. So for Roman, we got to make another note here. So we got Roman and Edge. So the highest will win for their team. Roman gets a 1. The Battle of the Spears and Edge gets a 5. So they get a point for the Galang tribe. Now we're going to go with the women. And on the women's side, let's just do the one that I think we all want to see, Rhea versus Bianca. So for Rhea Ripley, she's going to roll a 5. Bianca Belair also rolls a 5. So let's get a reroll here. So for Rhea Ripley, a 10. Bianca Belair, 20. Bianca picking up the win. So we are tied 1-1. Again, first to 5. All right, so let's do another female matchup here. Let's do Beth versus Lita. Let's do Beth versus Lita. So for Beth Phoenix, she's going to roll a 1. Not looking good for the Glamazon here. For Lita, she gets a 19. So Tadhana taking a 2-1 lead here. Let's go back to the men. Let's just get the matchup out of the way. Jimmy versus Jay. Jimmy versus Jay. 1-on-1. For Jimmy, he rolls a 3. Jay is going to get a 6. So Tadhana taking a 3-1 lead here. All right, let's go Montez versus Dominic. Montez versus Dominic is the next matchup. So for Montez Ford, he's rolling in 18. Little boy Dom Dom and 8. So Montez bringing it 3-2. So we've got a matchup here, guys. We got a matchup. All right, let's move. Let's do Carmella. Excuse me. Carmella versus Dakota Kai. So for Carmella, rolling a 4. Dakota Kai, 16. So Tadhana is now 1 away from the victory. All right. Now, let's go Corey Graves and Paul Heyman. The wise man finally having to step up. The wise man finally having to step up. So let's roll for the wise man, Paul Heyman. 13. Wow. Corey Graves, a 9. Paul Heyman somehow manages to beat Corey Graves one-on-one in a pugil fight. My only thought process is Paul Heyman just basically laid on the platform until Corey Graves just passed out, and then Paul just rolled him off. All right, so all the women have went, I believe. I believe all the women have went. All the men have won. See, where are we at? We are at 7. So somebody's going to have to go again. So Candice LeRae is up for her tribe. And they're going to put her up against Rhea Ripley. Rhea's going to go again. So for Rhea Ripley, a 10. Candice LeRae, 11. Candice LeRae wins for her tribe. Tadhana winning their first immunity challenge. I'm guessing she probably played possum and had Rhea bull charge at her and just kind of dove out of the way. I mean, that would be my thought process in this. Which means for the first time. No, wait, for the first time, the Galong tribe is going to tribal council. All right. So, again, let's look at where I think the alliances are falling here. I think you're going to have a solid 4-heel alliance. Paul Heyman, Jimmy Uso, Rhea Ripley, and Carmella. I also think you're going to have Edge, Montez, Candice, and Lita as a solid foursome. Edge and Lita might have a little bit of animosity based off of their past history, or they might be very tight, even though Edge's wife is on the other tribe. And I think Io Sky is kind of somewhere in the middle. Now, what I think is going to happen here, unfortunately, is the wise man and Jimmy and Carmella and Rhea are going to pull Io Sky in. And they're going to look at the other 4. They get rid of the big threat. Paul Heyman's looking to the merge to get to his tribal chief, to get to Jimmy and Roman. Is Paul Heyman trying to pull a fast one and maybe get Edge out as a big threat early on? Or do they try to... does he try to, and weaken his tribe? Since he has the majority 5, he could weaken his tribe on purpose to get rid of them all. So that way when he meets up with his tribal chief Roman Reigns, he can hop on board and have a bloodline foursome and then have the rest of their alliances together. I mean, I think Paul Heyman could pull something like that off. But I think it's too early for that. I think he's going, and they're all going to get together. The heels are going to get together and talk, and they're going to look at Candice LeRae as the smallest woman, probably the weakest woman on this tribe. And sadly, I believe Candice LeRae The tribe has spoken. So Galong is now down to 8 members, which means over on Redemption Island, we're going to add Candice LeRae. Interrupt myself here for a quick moment. First off, thank you for checking out Wrestling with Fans here on YouTube. If you're enjoying what you see, make sure to leave a big old thumbs up and click that subscribe button down below. The other ways you can help support the show is to follow us across all of our other social medias. Check us out, facebook.com/Wrestling with Fans. Hulk smash that like button to keep up to date with everything going on here with Wrestling with Fans. Or you can follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Wrestling with Fans. Check us out on the web at WrestlingWithFans.com. New audio shows go up every single Sunday at midnight. Or you can take us on the go and download us to your favorite podcast, the listening device. You can get us wherever you get your podcast fix. Just search Wrestling with Fans Podcast. We are on all the major platforms, Apple, Google, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Stitcher. Wherever you get your podcast fix, you can find Wrestling with Fans. Last but certainly not least, comments, questions, feedback, topics you want covered on the show, shoot me an email, wwfshow@gmail.com. Again, that's wwfshow@gmail.com. Links to everything are down in the video description and down below, so make sure you check that out. Without further ado, back to the show. All right, coming back in here live as we get ready for the next reward/immunity challenge in Survivor, WWE Survivor Blood versus Water. So, for this one, the castaways will paddle out into the ocean to retrieve 5 crates tied to the bottom of the ocean. Once all 5 crates were returned to the beach, the castaways would use the crates to build a staircase. 2 castaways would then solve a puzzle revealing the combination on a wheel that would lead them to the key. The key would unlock a handle to raise the flag. The first tribe to raise their flag wins immunity and reward. And this time it is tea, coffee, croissants, and biscotti. A little bit of brekkie for the Survivor castaways. Or they could opt to win the fishing gear if they didn't have it already. So, let's look at the tribes real quick. We've got Tadhana. They're down to 7. You got a solid alliance of Roman, Jay, Corey Graves, Dominic Mysterio, and Dakota Kai. And I think they're going to be, again, I think if they lose here, it's going to be Dakota going. But we'll see where that goes. And then Galang, who just won their first immunity at the last challenge. Or excuse me, Tadhana won her first. Galang went to Tribal for the first time. You have Paul Heyman, Jimmy Uso, Rhea Ripley, Carmella, and Io Sky kind of paired up. And then Edge, Montez, and Lita are on the outs. 5-3 here. Now, let's do the rolls. Let's do the big rolls here. So for the Tadhana tribe, they're going to roll a 12. Not bad. For Galang, they get a 20. Galang wins their their third immunity out of 4, setting the poor Tadhana tribe back to Tribal Council once again. Now, they've already voted out Candice and Eric and Trish. Probably 3, maybe arguably 3 other weaker players, the ones that don't fit in. Here's where I think things are going to change a little bit. Roman, Jay, and Corey Graves are going to stay together. I think they are blaming Dominic and Dakota Kai for their losses. I think even though they might not see eye to eye, I think they want to, the tribal chief wants tribal strength. And I think they only get that by pulling in Beth and Bianca and kicking Dominic and Dakota Kai to the curb. So I think we have a new. I think the guy, Roman, Jay, and Corey are probably telling Dom and Dakota that they're voting for Beth. But I think secretly Corey Graves is going to Beth Phoenix and Bianca Belair and telling them, look, we're going to vote out Dominic. He is obviously the weakest. He talks a lot. He has nothing for this tribe. And I think this is going to make a new 5 alliance with Dakota left on the outs. And I really think after all these losses, Dom loves to talk a big game, but can he back it up? And in this case, no. Dominic Mysterio does not back it up. And I think finally, Dominic Mysterio, the tribe has spoken. Dominic Mysterio, 4th voted out of this game, which means we've got to add our boy Dom Dom. Oops, no, don't want that. We got to add Dom Dom over to Redemption Island. Okay, that's not what I want. No, I want to delete that. Yes. So let's add Dominic Mysterio to Redemption Island if I can find him here. All right. So we're going to end up. This is the end of episode 4. And now let's look at our Redemption Island. The tribes real quick. So we have Corey Graves, Jey Uso, Roman Reigns, Beth Phoenix, Dakota Kai, and Bianca Belair over at Todd Hana. Now at Galong, we've got Edge, Jimmy Uso, the Wise Man, Paul Heyman, Montez Ford, Rhea Ripley, Carmella, Io Sky, and Lita. The tribe that you would think would be getting dominated. If you looked at the tribes at the start, Galong to me, I think would have been the one I think would have been gone first. But they have somehow managed to keep it together. I'm guessing Edge and Montez, Jimmy, Lita, Rhea, everybody but Paul Heyman is just doing exceptional in these challenges. So again, we're gonna have to do one-on-ones here to sort this out. Now I'll do the rolls. I'm gonna have to keep this up to do this. So let's start with so first to 5. So we got Todd Hana and Galong. So again, let's start with the matchup that started it last time. Edge versus Roman. They're going to slide down. It's basically a slip and slide. They pick up a ring along the way, get to the end of the slide, toss it onto a pole to score. So let's bring this back in. All right, Roman versus Edge. For Roman, a 6. For Edge, 14. Galong scores. Edge has Roman's number in these challenges. Edge just has his number in these challenges. So let's go right back to the next one. Jimmy versus Jey. Let's go Uso versus Uso. For Jimmy, gets a 20. I mean, it's over. Jey gets a 4. Galong up 2-0 early. Galong is just dominating here early on in this challenge. Now to the ladies. Let's get to the ladies. So let's go with Bianca Belair versus Rhea Ripley again. Let's go with Bianca versus Rhea. So for Bianca, she scores a solid 13. For Rhea Ripley, a 16. So Galong up 3-0 early here. Let's stay with the ladies. Let's go Io versus Dakota. Let's go with tag team partners against each other. So let's go Io Sky. Scores a 20. Dakota Kai, a 9. Todd Hana on the board for the first time. It's 3-1, playing to 5. Do we have any other pairs on here? I don't know if we do men versus women. I think it's men versus women only. So let's do Carmella versus Beth. Carmella looking smoking hot in her bikini, gets a 7. Beth scores a 16. Todd Hana closes the gap 3-2 here, playing to 5. All right, let's go Corey Graves versus Montez Ford. For Corey Graves, a 9. Montez Ford, 17. Galong up 4-2. Trying to think who is gone and who hasn't. Everybody for Todd Hana is gone, so they're going to have to go again. So Paul Heyman is up. Paul Heyman's going to go against his tribal chief. Roman's going to go again. Paul Heyman, a 10. Roman a 2. Paul Heyman beats Roman Reigns in this. Maybe Roman, after losing to Edge, he's like, you must acknowledge me as the best, and he just gives up. So Galong wins immunity again. Wins immunity again, sending the poor Todd Hana tribe back to Tribal Council one more time. This is just embarrassing. This is just embarrassing. I don't think there's really anything to talk about. I think Roman's kind of fed up. Looking at Dakota as the weakest, even though I think she did win her heat here. I hate to say it, but he's going to try to stay strong to have some semblance of chance over the next couple of challenges. I honestly think Dakota Kai. Dakota. The tribe has spoken. So Dakota Kai has been voted out. She heads off to Redemption Island with Candice and Trish. Again, we have a solid alliance. Paul Heyman, Jimmy Uso, Rhea Ripley, Carmella, and Io Sky. A majority 5. And then we have Edge, Montez, Lita on the outs at 3. I think they're going to keep Edge around to be strong, but I think he's going to be the target at the merge. That would be my guess. And it's somehow the wise man has got his troops in order. The same, however, cannot be said for his tribal chief, Roman Reigns. They're down to 5. They're down to 5. Like, this is just a blowout. It's 5-8. Roman had initially had Dominic and Dakota Kai in his alliance, realized that they're the 2 weakest, and if he wanted any chance to, have a chance to win, he needed the strength of Beth and Bianca, and yet they still keep losing. Corey Graves may be the weak link here. I don't see how this tribe loses compared to the other tribe. But here we go. Now we're up to the reward/immunity challenge in episode 6. Working 2 at a time, the tribe would race out to a cage at the bottom of the ocean, untie knots to release a gate, and retrieve a fish trap. Once 3 traps were retrieved, 2 castaways would use puzzle pieces contained in the traps to assemble a puzzle. The first trap to assemble their puzzle would win immunity and reward of fixings for a picnic. Bread, ham, roast beef, cheese, condiments, and brownies. A full feast for the tribes here. Let's see what happens. So what happens in these challenges, I'll take a quick pause here just to explain things. In these challenges, if you have an odd number, you're setting people out. So all 5 Todd Hana tribe members are playing this. Bianca, Beth, Corey, Jay, and Roman. At Galong, they're setting 3 people out. And I guarantee you they're setting out Paul Heyman. Carmella's probably sitting out, and Io Sky is probably sitting out. And the other 5 are going to play. So let's roll here, guys. Todd Hana. Can they pull off a miracle here? 4. I'm going to go with no. And a 13. Galong wins yet again. This has to be embarrassing for these guys because they're going to be down to 4. And I think we're getting close, hopefully, to the merge. I hope so. We might have to call the merge early here because we're going to be running out of survivors here. So let's bring up Todd Hana. They are back at Tribal Council yet again. I think Corey Graves has to be the one to go. He's going to be the weak link. In all of this, I don't think there's any way that Corey Graves survives this. Beth and Bianca are pulling their weight. He's not going to get rid of Jay just yet. He's going to keep everybody around him. And I think Corey Graves is unfortunately going to be the odd man out here. I don't see a way for Corey Graves to survive this. I really don't. I'm just trying to think of scenarios in my head where he could talk his way into staying. I just don't think there's any way. So unfortunately, Corey Graves. The tribe has spoken. We are down to 4 at Tadhana. It is 4-8. It is just a blowout by the Galang tribe. I wrote myself here for a quick moment. First off, thank you for checking out Wrestling with Fans here on YouTube. If you're enjoying what you see, make sure leave a big old thumbs up and click that subscribe button down below. The other ways you can help support the show is to follow us across all of our other social medias. Check us out, facebook.com/Wrestling with Fans. Hulk smash that like button to keep up to date with everything going on here with Wrestling with Fans. Or you can follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Wrestling with Fans. Check us out on the web at WrestlingWithFans.com. New audio shows go up every single Sunday at midnight. Or you can take us on the go, download us to your favorite podcast, the listening device. You can get us wherever you get your podcast fix. Just search Wrestling with Fans Podcast. We are on all the major platforms, Apple, Google, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Stitcher. Wherever you get your podcast fix, you can find Wrestling with Fans. Last but certainly not least, comments, questions, feedback, topics you want covered on the show, shoot me an email, wwfshow@gmail.com. Again, that's wwfshow@gmail.com. Links to everything are down in the video description and down below, so make sure you check that out. Without further ado, back to the show. I really hope this doesn't go the way I think it's going to go. Let's roll for Tadhana. A 20. Galong. A 19. Tadhana somehow, with only 4. They're pulling double duty. Tadhana pulls out an upset win, sending DeLong to Tribal Council for only the second time. Wow, this is going to be an interesting one, guys. We know we're getting close to the merge. We're getting close to the merge. Here's where we gotta talk about this. So you still got your core five: Paul, Jimmy, Rhea, Carmella, and Io. Lita, Montez, and Edge are on the outs. Here's what I think could possibly happen. I think this could be interesting. Carmella, Rhea, Jimmy, and Paul are staying together. Edge and Lita and Montez pull Io aside. They're talking to her. They're letting her know, look, like, we understand you're with them, but when they get to the merge, they're going to get back with Roman and Jay, and they're going to be 6. You're going to be 7. You're going to be on the outs. You're going to be on the outs. If you join us and vote with us, we go 4-4 into this tribal, and we have a chance. We have a chance. And I'm not playing idols in this season. We're going to keep the idols out because that makes it too difficult. So I think Io is going to ponder. And I think that looking at the other tribe, they want to set up one of two targets. You're either going to go for Jimmy because they know they can get rid of Paul at any time. Paul's not going to, he's a goat. He's going to get drugged to the end, even though he's leading the charge here. He's the GOAT. I think they're going to target Jimmy, or they're going to target Carmella. With Corey Graves out, they're going to target Jimmy or Carmella. Because I think we might start seeing pairs starting to think to link up. Because you figure over at Tadhana, Edge's wife is still there. Bianca's, Montez's husband, or Montez's wife is still there. Bianca and Beth are in. So Edge and Montez want to get to their wives. You know, Jimmy and Paul want to get to Roman and Jay. Lita's by herself. Io's by herself. Her and Io can link up and join with the other 4 to take out the bloodline. They're trying to sink in as like, look, is like those 4 are going to be together no matter what. Those 4 are together no matter what. We have our significant others, you and Lita. That's 6. If we team up, the 6 of us, we can get out the 4, then we make it to 6, and then we go from there. But it's never that easy because Lita and Io are going to team up. They're going to kind of pair up. So I think Io has a change of heart and sides with Montez, Edge, and Lita to make it a 4-4 split. Now, the wise man, I think, is going to target Edge here. He knows the merge is coming. He wants to get out the Tribal Chief's biggest threat. Even though the Tribal Chief right now is 0 threat to win this game. 0 threat to win this game. I think it's probably Rhea and Paul Heyman are your front runners. And probably Montez is probably the most likable. Montez and Edge, I think, are there too, and Lita. I think so. You got 5 really. They're all galong. But I think the Eagles are going to target Edge. So the baby faces, the new alliance of Edge, Montez, Io, and Lita, they're going to target Carmella. They're going to go after Carmella here because Corey's already out. We get the tribal. We get a tie vote, which means we get a revote. Edge and Carmella are now not voting, and the others can only vote for Carmella and Edge. And we're still at a tie. I don't know if Paul, Jimmy, and Rhea or Montez and Lita and Io are going to switch. I don't know. You can make the case that, Io could flip and get Edge out just to make it to the merge. You can make the case that Rhea would turn, knowing that Dom's out. She knows once the bloodline gets back together, it's basically every person for themselves. And I think that the best case you can make in this situation is Rhea flips. Because she knows Jimmy and Paul are going to go right to Roman and Jay. Those four are going to be solid. She knows Edge and Beth are going to link up. She knows Montez and Bianca are going to link up. And she now knows that Io's turned on them and has sided with Lita and, that crew. She knows that she has to win to survive the game. And I think she doesn't want a chance going to Rocks. I think my gut is saying Rhea flips and Carmella gets voted out. I think Carmella gets voted out here. I think in the grand scheme of things, Rhea's going to realize what she's up against at the merge. They know the merge is coming up. The numbers are dwindling. The best shot she has is to stay with the bloodline or jump ship. She's going to be somewhere in the middle at the merge here. And I think to protect herself and not go to Rocks, Rhea flips and votes out Carmella. Carmella, the tribe, has spoken. So let's add Miss Mella is Money over to Redemption Island. As we close out episode 7. We are getting closer to the end here, guys. So let's go. Myself here for a quick moment. First off, thank you for checking out Wrestling with Fans here on YouTube. If you're enjoying what you see, make sure to leave a big old thumbs up and click that subscribe button down below. The other ways you can help support the show is to follow us across all of our other social medias. Check us out, facebook.com/Wrestling with Fans. Hulk smash that like button to keep up to date with everything going on here with Wrestling with Fans. Or you can follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Wrestling with Fans. Check us out on the web at WrestlingWithFans.com. New audio shows go up every single Sunday at midnight. Or you can take us on the go, download us to your favorite podcast, the listening device. You can get us wherever you get your podcast fix. Just search Wrestling with Fans Podcast. We are on all the major platforms, Apple, Google, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Stitcher. Wherever you get your podcast fix, you can find Wrestling with Fans. Last but certainly not least, comments, questions, feedback, topics you want covered on the show, shoot me an email, wwfshow@gmail.com. Again, that's wwfshow gmail.com. Links to everything are down in the video description and down below, so make sure you check that out. Without further ado, back to the show. Alright guys, here we go. It is merge time. And so you can see who's left. There's 11 players left in the game. We have all 4 members of the Bloodline have made it. Jimmy and Jay, the Usos, the Wise Man, Paul Heyman, and Roman Reigns. They're going to be a solid 4. And then you kind of have the couples. You have Beth Phoenix and Edge, Bianca and Montez. And they've also been working with Lita and Io Sky. So we're going to move this around a little bit. Just, there we go. Let's do it that way. Because Lita's more in. And then you got Rhea Ripley up here, who's kind of by herself. And more than likely, I don't know where she's going to end up. Because it'll be 6-4 and Rhea. But it's an individual game now. We are in an individual game now. And this is where we're going to end. We're going to make this a part 1. I didn't think it was going to take this long to get through. But we'll make this a part 1. We'll do part 2 this weekend. Maybe I'll do that on Saturday, part 2. But yeah, we'll leave it here. And we'll take a pause and we'll come back and we'll play the rest of the Survivor game. And then I'll have to edit and make it one full long video. But we're already at an hour and a half in and it's getting a little late, folks. So again, just run down the list. Actually, here, let me do this. Well, hang on. Hang on. All right, take the dice out. So yeah, 5 years of wrestling with fans. Thank you to my beautiful wife, Jen, for putting up with me, allowing me to do this in our home for the last year and for supporting me and being on the show. To Chris H for being a part of the chat that helped spawn this show. I love you, brother. Bobby, my original, tag team partner in this. I love you, man. Thank you for all you've done with me. And just thank you for just being a part of the show and being, my right-hand man, my equal through the early days of this. Chris C, I appreciate you. I love you too, brother, man. I just thank you for just, hopping in, adding a different perspective at times, and just having so much fun on the show. I really appreciate everything you've done for Wrestling with Fans. Jason, my best friend, the man I've known the longest, I appreciate you always just being a solid friend to me, and being Undertaker fan since as far back as we can remember, and the cool stuff you've given me, the Bret Hart stuff, the Creed cloth that I've got on the wall over here from his weekly visits to NXT. I appreciate it. My Cameron Grimes cash is over on here on this wall that you can't see. Just thank you for just being an awesome person. Thank you for your contributions to the show. Rick, my newest friend, thank you for being a part of the last few months of this journey, helping with pay-per-views, inviting us over, hosting us for pay-per-views and watching. It's so awesome to get to talk wrestling with you on the regular. And again, to Josh and John and Tim and Danny, even when you have a Confederate flag behind you there, dummy. Thank you for your contributions to the show as well, and anybody else I may have missed. Just thank you so much. The last 5 years have been a lot of fun, and of course, to you, the fans of Wrestling with Fans, it's Wrestling with Fans. The guys that listen to the show every week, download the show, that follow on the Facebook page, that share the posts. So many of you that have shared my posts on Facebook. Thank you so much for all your help, for always supporting this crazy journey of mine. And to the YouTube community, the guys that used to be here every night when I would stream. There's so many of you to name. I'm not even going to try to remember all of you. But just thank you for supporting me over the last 5 years. And here's the next 5 years of Wrestling with Fans. So with that being said, thank you all for watching. I'll see you in part 2 later this weekend. So thank you all. I love you guys. Here's to the next 5 years. Once again, my name is Kyle, and I'll see you next time right here on Wrestling with Fans.